Hi folks, welcome back. We got our leader hose put in and we got one pole in the ground. Now we're going to set our second pole, put it in concrete 2 feet down. These are 8-foot poles, but we're going to be cutting them off. We're going to put our hose reel on here and then top them off. We got our leader in the ground, which is coming under the deck. It's going to go right here to our hose reel. We're going to put that hose reel here to water the garden. The garden's coming along nicely. We got lots of stuff growing. We'll have to go through that later. But go back and check those videos if you like about how we got the leader hose coming under the porch here, under the deck, and also how we set up the garden, how we got the raised beds going. Let's get started on this post. Okay, I've got this a little more than 24 inches because we're going to put gravel on the bottom, and I started out just with the width of the post hole digger, which is probably about 8 inches, and I dug it out a little bit more. 2 to 3x is what they recommend for the hole, so it'd be about 12 inches. So the top may not look like it, but as you go down it gets bigger. It gets about 12 inches down. So we're going to separate these posts by 16 inches on center, which is what the hose reel is for the holes. And so we'll get the post in and get the concrete in and align it to 16 inches on center. Okay, our post is level, 2 directions using our post level here. And concrete, we did a shower of the concrete, just giving it a little, basically a half gallon, then another half gallon, and then do a mist on top to keep it looking nice, so that the powder is on the top and not the rocks. So we'll come back, we'll keep misting this over the next several days. You probably want to mist it several times a day. Probably even up to a week, and but it should start to harden. This other one was nice and hard in the ground, concrete wise, after, basically one day. Okay folks, we got our 2 posts in. Concrete is settled. We're a little bit shy of 16 inches on center, so we're going to end up a little bit on the outside of these posts. That was just me running fast and not making sure that the post was exactly centered. So when we put our lag bolts in, we're just going to angle them a little bit and try to take advantage of more of the meat of the post. So let's get our hose reel and we'll get started. Alright, we are putting in the Eley hose reel. The holes on this one are 16 inches on center. We do have the extra extension on here to allow us to have a little bit more hose. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to go the other side. We're going to pre-drill our holes with they recommend an 1/8 inch drill bit. We're going to put the lag bolts in. But they do have, this is obviously, post or studs. They have an option for concrete and masonry also. You can also use the concrete and masonry screws in here. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is mark our holes. Just a height that's comfortable, wherever you think it would be easy to unreel the hose. And we're going to end up cutting these posts off too, so the fact that they're different height doesn't make too much of a difference because we're going to cut them off very level with each other. So right now I'm just eyeing where the holes are going to go, and I want to make sure it's decently level somehow. I can use this flat surface in the middle. I'm just going to mark the The holes here, again, they should be on center on the post, and I did not get that quite right. So we're a little bit outside of where it normally would be. Okay folks, they say 1/8 inch drill bit, 1.5 inches deep. You could use tape to mark your drill bit, but I have it set to exactly 1.5. So I know exactly where to stop because it will hit the drill there. All right, bud. So let's drill these holes. We're gonna angle them in, like I said, to give it a little bit more meat on the post. Okay, but now we got to see what we need to drive these lag bolts in. Okay, we're just ignoring the concrete masonry bits in here, or sorry, screws. And we got some spacers in here that we probably won't need to use, but if you're on siding, it says that you'll need those spacers to comply with your siding dimensions. So we just got our lag bolts here, our lag screws, and we're just going to drive these in with something. I need looks like a hex nut driver. Let's find which one it is. Nope. 7/16 looks good. All right, let's get our reel. Now there are washers on these things too, which they recommend. You should use those. That doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. That's not going anywhere. It definitely feels solid. I mean, I suppose if you have a hose on there full of water, it will get heavy, but I mean, it's pretty good. Nice. It feels like aluminum, heavy duty, nice. This is the inlet hose that came with the Eley reel. Seems like a decent hose, but they recommend that you are 5 feet or closer to the faucet where you're going to hook this up, because it is just I guess about a 5-foot hose. So we are a little bit farther than that, so we're going to use our lead-free water hose that we hooked up last time and ran under the deck. So if you haven't seen that video, go back and watch that one. We're going to use that one that we just ran under the deck, run it to the hose reel before we hook on the the reel, and then everything else. Okay folks, the next step was to take our own lead-free leader hose that we've got coming from the wall, bring it to the inlet hose that was provided by Eley, and run it straight through here. Okay, the next step is to put the flange assembly on, or what I would call the reel. Just slides on there. There we go. Make sure the handle is on the outside. There's our hose. And then we also have the hose strap assembly. We have to put the hose strap assembly on. So right here, we haven't screwed this in yet, but right here the underneath is the Velcro strap. It goes through the hole first, and then you slide this in just so it fits nozzled up in the curve there. Okay, now we're installing the cam lever brake. There's a notch on the brake. It just goes in the notch on the reel itself. Okay, and here's the final product with the hose strap assembly and the cam lever brake. The cam lever brake tab goes in the little notch, and the strap goes in through the hole, and this just rests there. Alright, the next step here is we're going to attach this swivel to the hose itself. Okay, and now that that's done, we have to attach the swivel to the axle. We have to fiddle with this to get it to make all the pieces line up. I guess I didn't realize this copper pipe rotates, so it was facing like this, too close to the reel, and it makes sense. It just comes out like that. And you just tighten this nut on here. It's just a hand tighten, not to over tighten. Okay, next step, crank handle up to the 12 o'clock position and lock the cam lever brake. Alright. Now we take our garden hose and we go through the strap back here. So let me show you that. Alright, so our garden hose just went through that strap, that's it. Okay, the next step is we got to take our garden hose, we're going to bring it through the hole here, and we're going to put it on, attach it to this swivel. Alright, only one thing left to do, and that's to tighten this screw right here. Okay folks, I don't know if you saw, but I did have to adjust here, just pull this through, otherwise it will kink that hose. So I pulled it through so that to get rid of that kink right there. I've seen other reviews talk about that too. Release the cam lever lock. Start reeling. Okay, that's it folks. It was not that bad of an install. Certainly kind of actually easier than I thought it would be actually when we started putting it all together. I saw a lot of parts in the bag, kind of thought it would be a lot more complicated, but it was actually kind of easy. So this is your Eley hose reel with the extra capacity kit. So we got, I think this is about a 75-foot hose on here, or maybe 100-foot. Okay, we did end up using the Eley leader hose attached to our own leader hose coming from the faucet, coming from our under the deck install that we did before in just a recent previous video. So there's actually 3 hoses here. You got your water hose, the Eley leader hose, and our own leader hose. We tried to go lead free all the way. The Eley does say that it is lead free and safe, you know, for garden drinking use and everything. So very important in a garden to try to be as lead free as possible, and that includes all the components for the Eley here with the this pivot over here. So not that bad of an install. The cam here is actually pretty easy. It's almost just a flick of the wrist, just an easy. I'll show you that. Just an easy lever, and it won't move without it, and then you basically flick it off and it rolls really easy, nice. So here is that cam. Super easy to just lock and unlock. And I've experienced, so far it's only been a day, but I've experienced no leaks with the Eley hose connected to our own hose. Here, you know, with the hose actually comes out here. I'm not seeing any leaks here or here on this this swivel or this pivot pipe. We're gonna come back here. We're gonna decorate this. We're probably gonna just do like a redwood stain. We already have that in stock here from another project that we did, so we'll probably use that. But you could, you know, obviously paint this, you know, a nice barn red, or put some stone on it. They actually make sleeves where you can put them on these posts. It does get a little pricey to buy all that, you know, doing the rock yourself or putting those sleeves on. Plus you'd have to buy 2 in this case. Now, there is an extra kit that Eley provides that is a single post where you can mount all of your hardware on a single post rather than doing the double post the way that we did. The only caveat there is you have to do the other setup, which is the vertical, or not vertical, but the perpendicular setup, where you're going to be unreeling the hose this way, and we wanted it to come out towards the garden, so that was not an option for us, at least without a lot of custom work. So the 2 post works with this setup, and also I think it's going to be a lot more solid in the long run, right? This is Ready Seal Redwood Stain. What do you think, folks? How did it turn out? This is the first coat of redwood stain. I think it's going to look even better if we put some more coats on it, but it's looking good already, much better than pressure treated color. Let me know what you think in the comments. I know I made a couple of mistakes, but overall everything worked out pretty well, just as intended. I think definitely shortening the post made it look a lot nicer. I might put a top cross member on there. I'm considering it, at least just for looks. It might help a little bit with stability, but mostly for looks, and then we can probably just sit stuff on top or hang stuff. Alright folks, let me know what you think in the comments. If you have a good idea how we can use this even better, what you did at home. Give us a like and a subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Homestead, y'all.